सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्
Hari Om, everybody. Hari Om. Welcome to Life and Management Season 2. So, we already saw earlier in the Sabha Parva of the Mahabharata, Pandavas build a beautiful Indraprastha. And there comes Maharishi Narada, and he comes for the celebrations and he has a chat with King Yudhishthira. He explains the theory of statecraft for kings, how to find the most able people, how to make them ministers, how to train and take care of the military, how to watch over enemies, rules of war, delivering justice, and many, many other such topics on governance and also how to develop better as a king. So, Swamiji in season 1 beautifully explained to us about intelligence in dealing with the enemy, the art of negotiation, how to be well established in Rajaniti or Dharma Shastra. Whatever we do around us, it doesn't just apply to kings. It applies to each and every one of us, because in whatever we do, we try to integrate dharma into it. So, bringing in aggressive goodness, how to test one's own strengths and weaknesses, as we call it as SWOT analysis today. There were 14 ways in which you will have to analyze your own strength and weakness, is what Swamiji taught us last time. So 8 duties before coming into an alliance and so much more. So today, let's wait and see what advice Naradji is giving to Yudhishthira and what Swamiji is going to surprise us with. Before we start today's session, let us start with a prayer.
Hari Om. Manohara Krishna Muralidhari Mathurai Natha He Giridhari Devaki Nandana Dinadaya Par Devaki Nandana Dinadaya Par Govardhana Dhara Gopi Palaka Govardhana Dhara Gopi Palaka Manohara Krishna Muralidhari Mathurai Natha He Giridhari Manohara. Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank you, Yamini. That was a very pleasing start to the first day of season 2, Life and Management. Over to Mitranandji. Swamiji.
Yep, thank you. Audible, clear?
Yes, Swamiji.
Samast Jana Kalyane Niratham Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavitvaram. My salutations to everybody. Hari Om Pranams. Our apprehension or perception of Narad has to change completely. we still have that image of Narad, a mischief monger, and more or less he has become a slang. If anybody plays any mischief, we say he's doing Narad's work. So that is not what Narad is. We saw Narad's book on devotion in Narada Bhakti Sutra. Then we also saw Narad, how he has inspired Prahalad, Dhruva, Vyasa himself, transformed Valmiki. That was again more of a saintly man. But here we see Narad Rishi talking to King Yudhishthir, Rajniti. Completely pure political science. How one should understand. And that kind of a political science or those values we should also keep in our life. We should keep it in our life so that in our own little way, they would be very, very handy and applicable. So when I was told about this particular portion in Mahabharata, I went there, started studying, and then I found very, very inspiring the topics. And to that extent that we have told all our Chinmaya Academy of IAS students to look into it. And slowly we may come up with a booklet. Rules of administration, political science, rooted in dharma. How administration should be rooted in dharma. That's how this whole lesson which we see. Very interesting conversation. Narad Ji meets Yudhishthir. This comes in Sabha Parva. And there he starts asking Yudhishthir, have you done this? Have you noticed this? Are you aware of it? Have you taken care of it? A list of things. That's what we saw in part 1. Now, part 2, we go into the topic where he says, Rishi Narad continued, Raja Yudhishthir, do you adore wise men according to their merits in respects of various branches of learning? What is he asking here is, he is asking, do you adore wise people according to their merits in respect of various branches of learning? I tell you, such adoration is without doubt highly beneficial to you. Now, this is the question he's saying. Yudhishthir, are you admiring, adoring, worshipping, seeking companionship of wise people in various branches? A leader, a king needs to have efficient, wise people around. Only then everything will work perfectly. If a king or a leader gathers people who will only say yes to the king, who will only say yes to anything the king says or anything the leader says, anything the CEO says, you keep saying yes, then that doesn't work. You must have people who are wise and who will advise correctly. And that input is very important. So there should be a great admiration for wisdom in different fields, efficiency in different fields. We should know to start admiring them. That is what he's asking. Are you admiring wise people? Wisdom can come from various places. Age has no bar there. It could be young or old. What is the difference in Prahalad's enlightenment or Valmiki's enlightenment? Both are same. One is a child and one is the highest man. Once they are enlightened, in enlightenment, all are same. There's no age, neither difference in experience. So what we need to understand here is wisdom can come from anybody. Are you in a position to admire wisdom? If we have not done that till now, let's make this our habit from today. Let's make it our habit from today. Let us start admiring wise people. Let us start adoring wise people. Why? He says, Rishi Narad says, do you adore wise people according to their merits in respect of various branches of learning? If you do, he says, without doubt, it will benefit you the maximum. What happens when we start admiring wise people? You know what happens? That which we admire, we would like to possess. That which we admire, we would like to inculcate. We would like to have it, develop it, cultivate it. So it is very important for us that we start admiring wise people, so that those wise qualities, how they responded to life in different ways, can go a great inspiration. In fact, Narad ji, in his other book, Narada Bhakti Sutra, he says 5-6 methods of developing devotion, 5-6 rishis who have spoken how to cultivate devotion. There he tells about a rishi called Garga. Garg Rishi says you can cultivate devotion through stories, listening to stories. Kathadishu iti Garga. What does he say? Garg Rishi says, listening to the stories of the Lord, you can cultivate devotion. When we listen to the stories of the Lord, we would start admiring the Lord. And when we start admiring, we would like to possess. That's how it works. The things which I want to possess would be things which I really admire. Where I move in my own Swadharma, if I see somebody doing something really well, I admire that person and I would like to possess that quality. So, Kathadishu iti Gargaha, listening to the stories of great people, one can cultivate devotion. There in Narada Bhakti Sutra he says that. But here he says, being in their companionship, admiring them, adoring them, will develop that which we will benefit from it would be immense. Now imagine how it works in our lives. Who do you follow? Who are your followers? Today in social media, each one has got 5,000, 10,000, few million followers. Who are your followers? Or who are you following? Both are important. What kind of people follow you is an important question to ask. Because we are living in this world. Around us, we inspire people. Our inspiration spreads around. We influence people around us. What kind of people get influenced by us is an important question. And what kind of people we follow. What kind of people follow us will show us what kind of a person we are, and what kind of people we follow will show what we aspire. So please keep a check on this. Who are your followers? Who is following you? What kind of people following you? And what kind of people you follow? This is important. So today, let's make this as one of the things to put it into practice. Start checking. In the chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that there are people who fall into the asuric tendencies, asuric nature, rakshasim asurim chaiva. He says they are of that kind. What do? He says they moghasha, moha jnana, moha karma vichetasaha. These people are leading a life of vain life, mogasha. Their desires are useless, mogasha. Moha jnana, the knowledge they accumulate is also useless knowledge. Knowledge accumulated is useless. Desires, what they have is useless. Naturally, the actions performed by them would be moha karma. Actions are also vain. Her life passes by like this. Mogasha, moha jnana, moha karma. The whole life goes away. Then he says, if a person lives a life like that, it is rakshasim asurim chaiva. It is a life of asuric, lower tendencies people live. Now we need to keep this in mind. So every day, end of the day, if we can sit quietly for a few minutes, a very simple, practical tip. Very simple, practical tip. End of the day, when you're sitting quietly, just ask 1 or 2 questions. Who are the people you admired today? It could be in the books what you have read. It could be the people around you, or it could be through media. Who are the people you have admired today? Just check. This is important. Every day when we start checking what are the kind of people we admire, slowly we will become self-aware and we will choose high quality people to admire. And as we discussed earlier, that which you admire, you would like to possess. Now, please think. Admiring somebody like Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananji, admiring somebody like Abdul Kalam, what difference it will make in our life? Because once we start admiring, we will slowly start practicing how they responded to life. When something comes in life, how they responded, because they also lived here. They also interacted with people. They also had different situations and they need to respond to different situations. How did they respond? Once we start catching how they responded to a particular situation, we are seeing life through their eyes. We are seeing life through a higher vision. We are seeing life from an evolved perception. Please understand, very simple. So next time when you are in front of a situation, you need to take a call. Just start connecting the people whom you admire, how they would respond to that situation. Very simple. The people whom you admire, how would they respond to a given situation? And once we get that, how they would respond, we would start attempting to respond like them. My teacher, Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji, if we make a mistake and go to him and we feel bad that, like a mistake is made, something he expected and we did not do it, the efficiency in organizing a particular event was, there was, let's say, little shoddy and stuff like that. Or you feel bad that you didn't stand up to his expectation. And when you go to him and you tell, he'll have very simple word. 2 words he'll use. Never mind. Now this is a beautiful response. Something has come. You're saying you have repented, you have understood. Never mind. Now it's over. Drop it. Never mind. Yeah, fine. Carry on. Now, so lightly one can drop things. A wise man does that. When we admire a person, then we pick up that quality. Slowly it can sink into us. If something is really bothering, how would he respond? Never mind. What does it matter? Never mind. Now, just getting that idea, never mind, imagine if this has sunk inside deep in our admiration of him. Can life ever trouble us? If things don't go the way in which we want, never mind, doesn't matter. That's not the end. That's how. And the way in which he would say it, with the confidence, the composure, smilingly he'll say, okay, never mind. And many a times you will see, even in his talks, he would go on using this word, never mind. It's a powerful way of understanding things. Now, this is how a wise man responds. Suppose we have picked this up, or we pick it up today. How valuable this attitude will be. When something is bothering, you're saying, yeah, it happened. I didn't like this, but it happened. Never mind. I am not going to be bogged down by it. I am not going to be stuck with it. I am not going to waste or repent rest of my life on it. Never mind. I move forward. That word never mind will help us to bounce back. It's just a wonderful quality how a wise man responded. I just gave you one example how a wise man responded, never mind. Now, when we admire a wise person, we pick up such qualities. Abdul Kalam, again another brilliant man whom we can admire, coming from a very, very humble economical background, have to do a lot of study in free schools, studied in government schools where the education was almost free, and used the libraries well, but he rose up somewhere. And this man used to tell wherever he went, to think small is a crime. Can you imagine the word which is coming from him? To think small is a crime. We call so many people criminal. And Kalam says that if you think small, it's a crime. Now, suppose we pick this up. Our thinking changes, isn't it? In various issues, how we respond could be petty. This is not the way to respond. Then we expand. Our responses from pettiness will change. And we will slowly drop the habit of thinking small. We will start thinking higher, larger, nobler, bigger. Once we start thinking, the thoughts change, our personality changes. So Narad Rishi is telling Yudhishthir, what kind of people you have around you, what kind of people you admire. Yudhishthir, are you admiring wise people? And if you are admiring wise people around you, the benefit is immense. I remember another brilliant incident in the life of Shivaji, the Maratha king. He played a very, very important role in Bharat's history. Because of somebody like Shivaji, even the temples in South India are saved. The Islamic invaders could not beat Shivaji and come. And even if they overcome that and they come, by the time they come to Deccan and down, they are tired. Not all those invaders came to South. 1, 2, Tipu Sultan invaded us, came up to Tamil Nadu, made Srirangam his capital, destroyed 1, 2 temples. But not the entire junk. 1, 2 only came this forward. All others were stopped by Rajputs and Shivaji. Shivaji was one such person. Because of him, most beautiful temples, even today we are in wonder how these temples were built 1,000 years ago, are still preserved. Imagine something which our forefathers built 1,000 years ago is saved. We don't find such monuments in the north of India. Very few are there, because most of the temples are destroyed. Most of the wonderful monuments are destroyed or rebuilt or built something over it. That's what the invasion did. But here Shivaji fought. Now this Shivaji, when he was fighting as a teenager, he took up, he became a king, slowly conquering different forts, and came a time when he has to be declared Chakravarti. Now he is the emperor, not anymore a Raja. Now he has to be declared an emperor. When he has to be declared as an emperor, naturally there is a huge coronation function happening. Everything is arranged, and now he would be crowned as Maharaja, an emperor of Bharat. You understand that kind of a position, that he would be declared as a Chakravarti. And his guru was Samartha Ramdas. At this event, Shivaji would love Samartha Ramdas to be with him. Because such an auspicious event, lost kingdoms, Hindu Swaraj has come back, Shivaji conquered, put Aurangzeb in his place, did not allow him to travel much places because Shivaji was very competent in stopping him. And when he is declared as Chakravarti, he would love to have Samartha Ramdas for his coronation function. And he wrote a letter to Samartha Ramdas, calling him for it. And I have read Samartha Ramdas' letter. It is there in their book. This is a beautiful letter. Samartha Ramdas writes to Shivaji and telling why he won't attend that coronation. Giving reason. For this reason, I will not come to that coronation. What is the reason? Samartha Ramdas says, if I come to that event, the public, the Janata, their attention will turn on me. It should be on you that day, not on me. Look at this nobility of this man. That day, a hard work it has come. That day, they should look up to the king. If a sant comes there, the attention will turn on him. In simple words, I'll hog the limelight, which should be on you. That is not right. My blessings are there. I'll come on another time, or not on this event. Let the entire focus of Janata be on you. What a wonderful letter. Look at the man. Now, when we start admiring somebody like this, our vision changes. We also want to be like that. We also want to rise up from the pettiness. It comes very naturally. Admiring, adoring wise people, the benefit is immense. So Narad Rishi tells Yudhishthira, do you adore wise men according to their merits in respect of various branches of learning? I tell you, he tells him, such worship is without doubt highly beneficial to you. So this, let us put into practice from today, this evening, from tomorrow, let us say. Any given situation, how would you respond? Tomorrow when you get up in the morning, how would you respond? Shift the attention. How would Kalam respond on a new morning? How would Samartha Ramdas respond on a new morning? Or how would Gurudev respond on a new morning? You get up, it's a new morning. How would they respond? Once we start imagining how they would respond, because about them we have some idea, some data is there. Our intellect has processed enough information about them. So through them, when we say, how would they respond to a new day? We start looking up, we start changing, and we start slowly responding from the higher wisdom from our head, gathered about them. You understand? Where is this higher wisdom? It is within us. Now we are looking through the higher wisdom from within. Because we have admired these people, we have information about them, all the people, whoever you have admired. Once that information is there, you have processed it, that's why you admire. Start thinking, how would they make a beginning? How would they respond to a new day? It would be a nice start. Slowly we start looking at life through higher vision, and it changes. That's why he said, I tell you, such an adoration or worship is without doubt highly beneficial to you. And this he is telling Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is someone whom we have to look up to. To Yudhishthira, Narad is telling, start looking at people. And that's why Yudhishthira did not move away from dharma. He held his head, mind, heart, everything together on dharma. His admiration for Krishna never changed. Krishna is younger to Yudhishthira, but the admiration what he had for him was such. So this is how a person can easily grow. And so this is what he's asking. Who are the people you admire? So let us check, re-examine, cross-check, introspect. Who are the people you admire? Who are the people you follow? And today, following, particularly when you see on Twitter or in Facebook or Instagram, etc., who are you following? That person, does he know that you are there also? He won't even know. Glamour, momentary celebrations, great following. And sometimes they say something so stupid and so many likes for it. Something's really stupid and enough and more likes for it. Something sensible, at least then you like, is fine. Now, what kind of people are following? And that person also feels nice. So many likes for my tweet. But what kind of people are you? Put a senseless tweet and so many people like it. What are you? So we must check who is following us and who are we following. Please keep a check on it. Be it in social media, be it in real life. Who are you following? Who are you admiring? And who are the people admiring you? In that, we can manage our life so well. Going to the next point, he says here, do you have faith in dharma? Look at the question. Based on the Vedas and practiced by people who have gone before you, your ancestors. Do you carefully follow the practices that were followed by them? Narad Rishi is asking this question. Do you have faith, Shraddha? Do you have faith in dharma? Do we have faith in dharma? Do we believe in dharma? Do we have faith in dharma? That if I follow dharma, I will have this benefit. But do we have that faith? At the easiest, least temptation, we can move away from dharma. One of the lines Gurudev told us in the pledge is to keep us on the path of virtue, courage and wisdom. That is dharma. Oh Lord, bless me to be on the path of courage, virtue and wisdom. Not moving away from virtue. That is dharma. So he says, do you have faith in dharma, which is based on the Vedas and practiced by people who were before you, who came upon this earth before you, who walked before you, your own ancestors, etc. They walked that path. Do you have that faith? Do you carefully follow the practices that were followed by them? A question to introspect. We need to think about this. How much are we following? For example, this book, Bhagavad Gita, must be 7000 BCE minimum. A small book, 700 verses. Must be 7000 BCE. Is there another book equal to that? So what kind of people lived in the past? Valmiki wrote Ramayana, 24,000 verses. Transformed from being a dacoit to Adi Kavi and glorifies Ram, which we admire even today because of him. Is there anybody who can write something similar to what he has written? The people who have written later, let it be Kamban, who wrote after him, and much later after Kamban, Tulsidas ji wrote Ramayana. Tulsidas ji wrote 400 years ago, Kamban wrote 1000 years ago, but there were a gap of 5000 years between Valmiki and Kamban. Both these prominent authors on Ramayana have clearly said, Valmiki is like an ocean, I am a drop, I am simply attempting something to convey what he has said in a vernacular language. Now what he wrote, look at the wisdom of the past. A book like Bhagavad Gita, a book like Ramayana, and various other scientific discoveries, and Dharma Shastra. What these people have said 7,000, 8,000 years ago is valid even today. Is not Gita helpful to us even today? With all that population, has something come up like that again? See what kind of people lived once. So here he is asking, do you have faith in dharma based on the Vedas and practiced by people who have gone before you? That is your ancestors. Do you carefully follow the practices that were followed by them? Now, something more important here is in Sanatana Dharma and the offshoots of Sanatana Dharma, like Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, have all come from Sanatana Dharma. Hinduism, another name for Hinduism is Sanatana Dharma. From Sanatana Dharma only branched out Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism. The things which have come out from Sanatana Dharma, something is very completely different from various other cultures or faiths. In Sanatana Dharma, the means is important as the end. The end, whatever goal you reach, the means is equally important or more important than the end. That means Sanatana Dharma insists on not to move away from Dharma. At any point of time, dharmic way of life is very important, Dharma. Suppose means is not important, only end is important, what happens? Please think. What happens? End is important, how you go through is not important. Now, how many people confuse the world with keeping the end in mind but not the means in mind? Simple conversion today. In whichever way, if you can convert a person, convert. Cheat through love, cheat through property, cheat through anything. Convert a person. Why? Means does not matter. End is important. You have converted, that person will go to heaven. That's all is your conviction. Who knows about even heaven? Nobody has reported. But you see here, the means is not important. End is important. So they do what they want. Ruthlessly kill people. Take a gun and shoot them. Why? Because they don't belong in your faith. And therefore, it's all right to kill them because they are not belonging to your culture, to your faith or to your religion. Shoot them. Means doesn't matter. If they change, well and good. If they don't change, shoot them. Hinduism doesn't go like that. Sanatana Dharma doesn't go like that. Sanatana Dharma says the means is as important as the end. Now, this is how the forefathers lived. This is how the people who walked before you lived. Should we have the courage to live life like that or compromise? So here is a question is asking, do you believe in Dharma? Do you have faith in Dharma? And if you have faith in Dharma, which is brought out based on the Vedas and practiced by people, are you willing to follow it? Because to follow Dharma, we need courage, we need conviction, we need clarity, we need wisdom. To keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom, we need all. And once we have it, we live a life absolutely noble. So to get there, we need this. So the question is, do you understand? Now we have to explain this. What is Sanatana Dharma's core principle? One of the core principles of Sanatana Dharma, means is as important as the end. Our philosophy is based on this. Not that the end is important, means can be anything. Means can be adharmic, means can be loot, means can be plunder, means can be anything. And the end is important. No, the means is as important. It should be as clean to reach the end. So that is called Dharma. Do you have faith in that? That is one question. Are you following is another question. Let us introspect. Do we have faith in Dharma? That if I stand by Dharma, I will benefit. Dharma will bless me. Maybe a little hard, but it will have a blessing on me. Do I have that faith? We have to introspect this. We need to think. Do I have that faith in Dharma? That once I protect Dharma, Dharma will protect me. Once I practice Dharma, Dharma will take care of me. Once I guard Dharma, I will be benefiting by Dharma. Once I abide in Dharma, the results, what I get will be dharmic. Do I have that faith in Dharma? This is again a question we need to ask. If we don't have enough faith, let's cultivate. Because the faith in Dharma is important. In understanding it is important. Only then the rest of the path can become easy. Otherwise, if we don't have faith in dharma, we may choose a life of compromise. And once we choose a life of compromise, we can go on compromising. Unfortunately, not holding on to the faith in dharma, most people have chosen compromise, and compromise has become a habit. How sad is that life when compromise has become a habit? Every morning till evening, at every step, compromise. Why? I need something means now it's okay, compromise. Because I want something, I need that, now I compromise. This compromising life is not correct. It doesn't give dignity to human being. As humans, living life of dignity is important because we can live life like that. For that, dharma is very important. Having faith in dharma is very important. And once I have faith in dharma, I know for sure this is dharma I am following, I will be rewarded dharmically. I will be rewarded. That faith should be there. If I'm doubting I will be rewarded, then I start compromising. Not having enough faith in dharma, a person compromises dharma. If we have faith in dharma, yes, I hold on to this faith, it will, I hold on to this dharma, the rewards will come to me. If not now, in the future. But I hold on to it. So he is questioning. Imagine what a question to that king Yudhishthir is asking. Do you have faith in dharma based on the Vedas? Based on what? Dharma? In Sanatan Dharma, understanding of dharma is based on the Vedas. Because otherwise anything and everything can be called dharma. If it doesn't have a Vedic sanction, we can't understand. So he says, based on Vedas, do you have, in that dharma which is based on Vedas, do you have faith? Again, this is a question we need to ask. Do we have that faith? If we have that faith, we will not compromise. We will not compromise for small things. We will not give up higher things. That faith we should cultivate. And do we have the guts to follow the people who walked before us, people who lived before us? This is called Pitru Yajna, Rishi Yajna. The rishis who have lived before us, the knowledge what they have given, I have to follow them means I understand how important that knowledge is. I start practicing the best I can and I start preserving that knowledge to the coming generation. Rishi Yajna. Pitru Yajna is also the same. The ancestors who have lived a life, a noble life, and they have passed down various things to us. Imagine what we are today is that cultural heritage which has come to us through our own ancestors, through your family. Basics of our culture today also taught through the family. You did not know about Ganesh Chaturthi. You did not know about Diwali in your school or in an organization. It was all taught to you by your family. The family people practiced, you practiced. So this has come down, ancestral value. Now that which has so beautifully come to me, we have a responsibility of handing it over to the next generation. I have benefited by it, I have cherished it, I know its value. However well, however intelligently, whichever methods we can take up to give this to the next generation, we should do. Because that which has reached us should not end with us. Please remember, that which has reached us had a long journey. What a long journey. The cultural heritage, what we have, how many thousand years? The spiritual heritage, what we have, how many thousand years? That many thousand years, the knowledge of Gita has come down to us. We must make sure that the next generation is inspired by it. Same way the cultural heritage, what we have, how many thousand years it has come. Let us be not the dead end. Let us be the channel by which it goes to the next generation. And this has to be done. So he is questioning that. Narad is asking Yudhishthir because Narad knew the value of it. So Narad is asking, are you following that? Are you practicing that? That was one. And then, are you following the practices of these people who lived before? And then he says, the next question he asks him, O sinless one, Yudhishthir, do you ever cause grief or anger in anyone? What a question to introspect. Do you cause grief? Do you cause sadness? Do you cause anger in anyone? He's questioning. He's saying, O sinless one, O Yudhishthir, do you ever cause grief or anger in anyone? We have to understand this little deeply. If suppose somebody does something to us harmful, we have a right to take care of it. That's our first right. We cannot allow someone to take advantage and hurt us. We have a right to protect. So learn to protect yourself from others' hurt. If the hurt is at the physical level, mentally be strong, not to allow it to get you to disturb you with it. There could be some losses at the physical level, but the mind, we have a right to keep the mind strong and not to get disturbed by it, not to be agitated by it, not to be feeling helpless by it. There could be difficulties. At the physical level, there can be some challenges thrown, but we have a right, in spite of physical challenges around us, we can keep the mental composure. Now that right we have to guard ourselves. So whichever way, we need to take care of ourselves. Others can't hurt. And if suppose someone is hurting, you need to take action. Give opportunity to transform. Our people who walked in front of us did that. Ram did that. How many opportunities he gave? First he sent Hanuman, and on reaching Lanka he sent Angad to Ravan to talk. Gave opportunities. Ravan did not change. Then the war was inevitable. He took the war. And in the war also, one day before Ravan, he gives him a chance, saying, okay, you go back today, rest, come tomorrow, maybe you'll change. He didn't change. Action has to be taken, action taken. But this action taken was come from a very clear mind, without any hatred for the person who has hurt you. Action, right action, dharmic action should be taken, but it should not be taken with hurt, with hatred. We should take it with clarity. Now, you understand when Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Adveshta sarva bhutanam, maitra karunayavacha, values. A devotee of mine cannot hate anybody, Adveshta, sarva bhutanam. He cannot hate anybody. He would be friendly. Maitra, Karunevacha, and very compassionate. And not one moment Krishna ever told Arjuna, leave the battlefield, leave Duryodhana. He never said that. Krishna's message is, you have to shoot Duryodhana, shoot him, but shoot him without hatred. You have to shoot Duryodhana, finish him, finish him. But it should not be born out of hatred or vengeance. It should be born because that's the right thing to do. We gave them chance. We gave them opportunities. We gave them time to reform. Having done everything, the person is not changing. You need to take action. Take action anchored in dharma. Not out of personal vengeance. Not out of personal hatred. There were times when Krishna told Draupadi, this war has gone far beyond the insult of what they've done to you. This whole war is now not happening because of that. It has transcended all that long ago. That is one of the reasons. There are so many reasons. Now the war has changed into guarding dharma and adharma. It is more a personal insult on you, and therefore people are fighting. There it has to be seen dharma. So many people came. Because Draupadi got insulted, everybody came? No. Because you lost a piece of land, everybody came? No. People came because they felt goodness has to be supported. And there were negative forces gathered, but people gathered that way for it. So it became a dharma yuddha. So even Right action has to be taken, but that action has to come without hatred. What a message Gita is telling a soldier. Shoot without hatred. I recently met one person who was he lives opposite our Heritage Center in table tennis champion. He was talking to me, and when I told him about this particular training given to a soldier not to hate and fight, he told me he coaches people on tennis, and he said that's what we teach them also. The students table tennis. He says the same thing we teach. I was staring at him. What do you mean? He said when they come to learn to play table tennis, don't look at the opponent. No matter how the opponent is, don't look at him. Look at the ball. Play the ball the merit of it. Respect. If that ball has to be respected and respond with it. If that ball has to be smash the ball. But learn to see only the ball and not the person who is sending it to you. This training is Gita. I told him, I said, knowingly or unknowingly, you're teaching a basic value of Gita through table tennis.
Hariom, Swamiji.
Just look at the ball.
Sorry to interrupt, Swamiji. There is a mic issue. We are not able to hear you well. Last 1 minute, we've been having an issue. Just last 2 minutes maximum.
Checking.
Yes, Swamiji. Clear.
Thank you. So what did you hear last?
The example that you were saying, Swamiji, that example wasn't clear.
Okay. I met a table tennis champion who was also a Padma Shri award winner. He lives opposite Heritage Center. I told him about this particular thing where Krishna tells Arjuna that you can shoot without hatred in the Gita. So immediately he told me he also coaches people in table tennis in the same way. I said, how? He said he trains his students to look at the ball, not the person who's hitting the ball. Respect the ball by ball. So there is nothing. There is no reward and there is no tournament. There is no victory. This one ball you take. Respect that ball and play. What happens to the result? That comes later. Who is sending the ball? Who's serving to you or who's smashing it to you? Doesn't matter. Don't look at that person who is smashing the ball to you. Don't look at that person who's serving the ball. Don't look at the score also. Only look at the ball. What a powerful, impactful lesson. Only look at the ball and play that ball. That's all. No matter who it is, you just play with that one ball. Next ball comes to you. Respect the ball again. If a mind can come to that, that's what Krishna was trying to tell Arjuna. In the war field, take an arrow and shoot, but don't bother and never shoot it out of hatred or vengeance. Right action has to be taken. So here he's asking, oh sinless Yudhishthir, do you ever cause grief or anger in anyone? Means Yudhishthir, you have no business to cause anger or grief. If things come to you, respond, give them opportunities. And then when you need to take action, take the right action. When you have to take action, take. And that action which we take should come from dharma, not from personal hatred, personal vengeance, etc. Now let's try this in our life. If people around us do not respond correctly, who responds to us unfairly, guard yourself. Take proper action if required, but there should not be hatred. Give opportunities to reform, and if the person is not reforming, protect yourself, take action, but that should come from dharmic understanding without any personal hatred. Let us not create grief to others. We would have created by now to so many people. Knowingly, Unknowingly, we would have hurt. How many times we must have hurt? With intention, we would have hurt people. Unintentionally, we would have hurt people. Through our words, we would have hurt people. Through our actions, we would have hurt people. Could have caused grief. Now what to do? I must have done all this. Then what should I do? Heal yourself from that first. How do I heal myself? From all that hurt, what I have thrown at others, it is all there in me. I have hurt. It is all there, stored in me now. Though I have hurt people, I am the one who is hurt in turn. Now I have to heal myself. How? Simply forgive all those people who harmed you. And sincerely apologize and pray for the people whom you have harmed. If they are within your range, be sporting to extend your hand and say, I'm sorry. A kind word can change a lot of things. If they are not there, pray. In your prayer, pray for the people whom you have hurt. And forgive all those who have hurt. Knowingly, unknowingly, they have done the same. We have also hurt others, and somebody in turn has hurt us. Let us keep that in mind. Forgive. We become free. These two things, praying for the one who has hurt you and forgiving the one who has, praying for the one whom you have hurt and forgiving the one who has hurt you will heal us completely. We can become very, very peaceful soon. Simple. All those people knowingly, unknowingly have hurt, pray for them. If you can meet and say sorry, wonderful. If you can't say it, doesn't matter, simply pray. Keep them part of your prayer with sincerity. Not mechanical, with sincerity. Because to heal yourself, you must be sincere in your prayer. When you sincerely pray for the people whom you have hurt, some benefit, some good will happen to them. You will become free. That sincerity in that prayer will heal you. And same way, those who have hurt you, just let go. Be charitable there, let go. But take care, that we have already discussed, so I'm not repeating the point. Take care that they don't hurt you again, but those who have hurt you, forgive them. By forgiving them and for praying those people who we have hurt, we heal ourselves. Tomorrow morning when you get up, you can feel so light, so free. Otherwise, we walk with such a burden, carrying so many things on us continuously. Very rarely we see ourselves free. This simple method, try and you see what kind of a release you have from all that which is blocked. Layers and layers of unconscious hurt, wounds inside which are not healed. All has become a burden and it is crippling me and I'm walking that way. Just release them off. And that would be easy. If we can do it, it would become so, so pleasant to live after that. Light, joyful, one can move around. That burden can be dropped. More of it we will take up tomorrow. Radha, take over.
Thank you, Swamiji. That was brilliant. It was not just for King Yudhishthira, it was for all of us. Because here we understand it is not just about governance, it is about governance of our inner world also. There's a lot of pointers for us to reflect on every night. Thank you, Swamiji, for that. Before we close, Chinmaya Mission takes the spiritual wisdom to all age groups. So the younger ones will attend Bal Vihar between 6 and 12 years of age. And these are the online classes that are happening. This is for Shishu Vihar. It's a parent-child class that happens on Sundays and Tuesdays. The next one being Chinmaya Yuva Kendra for the teenagers, the youth in your family. So we take spirituality in a dynamic fashion to them through interesting means. And we have a very special wing, which is IAS wing, Chinmaya Academy for Civil Services. We create leaders for a better India tomorrow. If you know people who are interested, please refer. And we have Chinmaya Sunday Patashala, which has been effectively running for the last 10 years. Online classes also happen every Sunday. This is for the entire family to come together for 2 hours. There is enjoyment and learning side by side. Chinmaya Swaranjali is all about tuning to the divine through melodies. Anybody can sing, only that bhakti is required. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, we have our online classes. You can join us anytime. Thank you all for joining us today. We will finish with Shanti Path.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा